내게 미안하지만은 not sorry. 오늘부터 나나나 bitch 나는 solo girl. I'm my girl, I'm only like girl now. I'ma do it on my, I'ma do it on my own now. Girl, I'm my girl, I'm only like girl now. I'ma do it on my, I'ma do it.
Hello and welcome to my first real video. Today I will be ranking and analyzing ATEEZ in terms of their dancing. Now for a quick disclaimer, ATEEZ is an extremely talented group when it comes to dancing. I believe all the members are good dancers and someone being lower on the list should not diminish that. Also, keep in mind that this is my opinion. Please feel free to share your ranking in the comments and let me know if you have any tips for making videos in the future. I hope you enjoy. Jongho's technique is fairly good, especially for someone whose training focused much more on vocals. Where his technique tends to be weaker though is in his consistency. Jongho's placements tend to be fairly inconsistent and there are times within the same performance where he overdoes one move and underdoes another. However, it is important to keep in mind the incredibly challenging lines he is given in many of ATEEZ's songs which can contribute to less consistent moves. His facial expressions are good. However, they aren't very versatile and they can tend to deplete when he isn't center. Jongho is by far the strongest member of ATEEZ and this allows him to put a lot of power behind his moves. When he is being consistent, this power helps him convey his very developed isolations especially in his shoulders and arms. While this may seem random, Jongho's breath support is very well executed. Due to his extensive vocal training, Jongho has incredible breath support when singing and this he knows exactly how and when to breathe during his performances in order to allow for power in his limbs as well as his voice. His rhythmical sense is also well off. Overall, Jongho is one of the most improved members of ATEEZ and will definitely keep improving over time, and I believe he provides a good dance baseline for an idol who was trained much more in vocals. Hongjoong is an amazing performer. His facial expressions are consistent and very versatile. Along with his facials, Hongjoong is a very versatile dancer and he stands out even when ATEEZ isn't performing hip-hop dances due to his charisma. The reason Hongjoong is at this spot on the list though, is because his strengths tend to lie more with idol dancing as opposed to overall dancing. Hongjoong's technique is fairly good, however he is inconsistent. There are certain moves he may overdo which can lead to the illusion of poor technique. His head and neck movements are occasionally overdone as well as quite stiff. Hongjoong puts quite a lot of power behind his movements. This combined with his incredible rhythmical sense allows him to execute his isolations very well. His hand movements are occasionally weak towards the end of performances, likely due to fatigue. However, this doesn't stop him from putting on an amazing show. Hongjoong is also prone to having quick, sharp moves blend together which causes him to look tired at times. Even though Hongjoong's strengths lie with idol dancing, his skill is at the level it should be for a member that is not part of the dance line. Seonghwa is above average for an idol who doesn't have a dance position. His technique is well off but not quite at the same level of those above him. Seonghwa's posture particularly stood out to me. Posture is extremely important as it is the first step in dictating a dancer's placements, and Seonghwa's posture is consistently very good. However, he doesn't always finish his placements correctly. Seonghwa is fairly tall and thin which means he may have to overcompensate his movements during certain parts of a dance. There are situations though where he completes a dance move to a similar extent as someone who is 3 inches shorter than him, which leads to inconsistency. Weird bend down dab thing in answer. Seonghwa's facial expressions are consistent whether he is center or in the back, and his relationship with those he is dancing with shows trust and discipline. His part with Yunho in answer. Seonghwa's expressions are fairly versatile, but his style of dancing tends to lean towards hip-hop more often than not. Seonghwa also lacks flexibility, and wears really tight pants, which can make it harder for him to pull off certain moves. Seonghwa's dancing overall is at a spot above where I believe all idols should be. Before I start, I just want to say that I know some people won't like that San is ranked this low, but hear me out. San has some of the most impeccable stage presence I have ever seen. Whether he is center or in the very back, his facial expressions never dwindle. San is an extremely good idol dancer. Idol dancing focuses more on stage presence and facials. Due to his fantastic stage presence, San also has well-off technique. However, he is a chronic overdancer. He will often stylistically change certain moves within the choreography, which can be appreciated from a performance perspective, but from an overall dance perspective, it diminishes the technique that he has. San has great isolations and is very sharp when he dances. You can clearly see each beat that he hits, and his placements are typically correct and precise. San also has a habit of moving his head and limbs quite a bit, especially towards the end of harder moves. This causes what I call the barbell head effect, in which his movements look slightly less polished than if he kept his head from moving so much. San is also a very versatile dancer. His duality is no joke, and he can easily seat between harder and softer expressions in the blink of an eye. Overall, San's strengths lay towards the performance aspect of K-pop, which is why he is ranked 5th on a list of dancers in ATEEZ. With his skill set though, I am of the opinion that San should be part of the dance line as a lead dancer in ATEEZ due to his skills being very developed. San has improved so much since his pre-debut training, and I hope he will be promoted to lead dancer in the future. Footwork. If that wasn't clear, Yeosang has some of the most impressive footwork in K-pop. He knows exactly where to place his feet and position his legs in order to execute a move to its fullest extent. This, combined with his great technique, allows him to pull off extremely satisfying and clean moves, shown very well in clips pre-debut. Where Yeosang's technique decreases slightly is his arms. While his arm placements are mostly correct and precise, he can occasionally appear floppy. Think the opposite of stiff, when his posture is not straight and his arms and slightly out of position. Yeosang is one of the most flexible members in ATEEZ, which allows him to pull off clean moves with ease, such as his drop in Wonderland and his kick in Answer. His isolations are very powerful and crisp, as shown through his developed technique. He has good rhythmical sense, but can occasionally rush moves, especially towards the end of dances such as the hip thrust in Answer. Yeosang is also very versatile in both facials and dance styles. While his facials can occasionally deplete when he isn't center, they are usually very good. He also occasionally has some balance issues, but this is rare. Overall, Yeosang's great technique and excellent footwork make for some top-notch performances for our best boy. Mingi's stage presence is no joke. I personally think that Mingi is the second best idol dancer in ATEEZ. However, the members above Mingi on this list are better dancers overall. Mingi has great technique and excels in hip-hop style dances. While hip-hop is his strongest style, Mingi is a very versatile performer. He is able to execute multiple styles of dance with impeccable facial expressions as well. However, with Mingi being one of the tallest members of ATEEZ, there are certain dance moves in which he has to overcompensate his placements, which can give the illusion of poor technique. This is something that the members above him have seemingly mastered. Mingi also tends to shortcut certain moves and not show off his isolations. For example, the hip thrust in Answer. When Mingi does complete this move to its fullest extent though, it becomes clear that his isolations are well off. Overall, Mingi is an extremely well-off dancer that deserves his main dancer title. Can someone say isolations? Seriously, Wooyoung's isolations are impeccably clean and his technique is top-notch. The way he is able to move so smoothly while also hitting every beat is truly admirable. Wooyoung also has incredible balance. He has shown off many moves that require a high amount of balance and flexibility. Wooyoung has ideal body proportions for a dancer. He doesn't have to overcompensate movements since his limbs are a bit shorter, which emphasizes his great technique. Wooyoung's stage presence is some of the best in ATEEZ. His facial expressions are constant throughout performances and stay highlighted even towards the end of dances. However, Wooyoung does have a habit of looking at the floor when he dances, which makes it seem like he's overthinking his movements. Wooyoung's fatigue is often very noticeable towards the end of dances. However, He pushes through and keeps his facial expressions up. ATEEZ is also fairly versatile. Wooyoung specializes in sexy dancing. However, he is still able to pull off other dance styles and concepts, even with his weaknesses, though. Wooyoung is an extremely talented dancer. Yunho without a doubt has the best technique in ATEEZ. His placements are well thought out and executed properly through every performance. A common weakness for dancers that Yunho overcomes is that he doesn't overthink his movements. With every performance you can tell that his execution comes naturally and that each and every move, while thought out, is not overshadowed by him thinking about exactly how to pull it off. Yunho also avoids both underdancing and overdancing. He finds the perfect balance between the two, showcasing his phenomenal technique and killer performance. Yunho is fairly flexible for a male idol and has great balance. He also has incredibly clean isolations. He also connects flawlessly with those he is dancing with. For example, his part with Seonghwa in Answer show clip. You can tell there is no discomfort between the two. Yunho is also extremely versatile. He can successfully portray multiple concepts and dance styles, as shown by ATEEZ's large range of concepts. Yunho's main weaknesses are the fact that his facial expressions can occasionally deplete when he is not center, and his fatigue is sometimes noticeable towards the end of performances. Other than that, Yunho is a top-tier dancer and one of the best of this generation.